Yes, sir. What is
Yep,
good,
yep.
everybody? YouTube, Glow Gang. I'm sorry, not Glow Gang. Glow Yard Gang. I don't want to get in trouble. MFFLs, what's good, everybody? Welcome to a brand spanking new episode. This is going to be like a hybrid of a post game and We Talk Mavs here on the Glow Mavs production. Listen, guys, I'm going on my own tonight without King, but I do got a guest on with me. But for me, it is your boy, Real. And joining me tonight is the man of the hour, man, from Dallas Prospects himself, Enyi, Nduka. What's good, man?
What's up, Rel? How's everyone doing tonight? Just about to talk some Mavs. Late night Mavs talks. That's actually no better way to spend your Friday night than talking Mavs. I like
Yeah, I
to
feel
see
like this is gonna
anyone
be kind of
try.
like the
Top.
equivalent. It's gonna be kind of like the equivalent of like a Jay Leno show or something, like a late night show or something.
So,
You know
something
what
like
I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like we said, we finna get into it with you guys. Listen, but before we do all that, guys, listen, if you're brand new to the channel, if you're into math content like we are, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you're enjoying yourself tonight with this conversation, go ahead and hit that like button, guys. It'll go a long way to help build up the algorithm, to help build up our channel. And also for the socials, I'll see you down here at the bottom on Twitter. We at We Talk Mavs, all one word. And on Instagram at We Talk underscore Mavs. So let's go ahead and get into it, Annie. Let me go ahead and hit the score first for the. All right, the Mavs win 115 to 101 in their very last preseason game. So it's not a bad score here. The number. So we got Luka with 24, 3, 5, 2, and 2. And Lauri Markkanen was the leading scorer for Utah at 21, 10, 2. Not bad for Lauri Markkanen. And then we got the stats here. We got Dallas shooting 44% from the field, 36% from three, 22 from 33 from the free throw line. Utah shot 45% from the field, 23% from three. It looks familiar, and 13 from 17 from the free throw line. All right, Annie. So this is how we do it, man. With this, we're gonna go ahead and do our positives and our negatives. Then we do our overall reaction of the game, man. So what were your positives coming from this game, the very last preseason game for the Dallas Mavericks?
I would say one of the positives that I saw watching the game is the Mavericks created a lot of live ball turnovers, and those are really key. Uh, I mean, we saw it was great activity on the defensive side. And now, if you had to choose what kind of turnovers you want to create live ball turnovers, especially with the rule change of there's no more take fouls anymore unless if you do
Yeah.
it, it's an automatic free throw in possession. So they're not going to see those anymore. So now that we're able to create more turnovers, we can get more fast break points. We're moving faster with the ball.
Yes, sir.
It was quite a sight to see. I mean, I remember I didn't write notes, but I'm literally going off memory. But probably 3 or 4 possessions in a row where they got some turnovers with Josh and Luka had made a couple steals too. So it was good. It was a
Yeah.
good sight to see. So that was one of my positives.
Yeah, I agree with you. The I could see the defense from last year kind of poking his head in that whole
Mhm.
entire game. It was a little sloppy because I
Preseason.
think me talked about it off preseason, and me you talked off camera about it, the fact that it was just too many days in between games,
Yeah.
so you can't pick up a rhythm.
Hmm.
Like you said, the way they were turning the ball over, the way that I think we're starting to kind of get an idea of how the rotation might be. Um, the certain weapons that we have on this team as far as like because if I say THJ, he went off tonight a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Christian Wood kind of went off a little bit there in the third quarter,
Yep.
so we're kind of getting an idea. Luca might have had the most quietest 24 I probably ever seen, bro. Like I didn't know he had 24 until I looked at the stats. I'm like, okay, I knew Luca was kind of scoring some buckets out there, but it just seemed
Mm.
like he was kind of just going through the motion a little bit,
Yeah.
trying to get everybody else involved because he penetrated a lot tonight and was dishing out to the
Addition.
shooters
Yep.
and stuff like that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, like I said, the positives. I like the way Josh Green looked. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, the hands in the passing lane. I love that. I definitely love that. Um, there was some balanced scoring there a little bit. Uh, like I said, Luca. Tim Hardaway, and then Christian Wood. Um, I'm gonna get into some negatives here in a little. We're gonna get some negatives here. There's one player I want to kind of. I got a question. I guess I'm gonna ask you here
Okay.
about, but positive wise, yeah, those are my positives, man. I 5 more days, Enyi. 5 more days. They play again on the 19th. I know
Yeah.
Jason Kidd already said they're gonna have a practice like on Sunday or whatever. I
Hmm.
don't know how much that practice is gonna really help them kind of get into some type of a game rhythm because we're playing Phoenix right out the gate. So you're not
Yeah.
playing the YMCA 35 and up league, bro. You playing a pretty solid team or whatever team that was had the best record in the league last year. You got any other takeaways you want to take from that?
No, I was gonna ask you a question based off of what you
Oh,
saw tonight.
mm-hmm.
Would you rather have Josh Green in that starting lineup than Spencer Dinwiddie and have him come off the bench?
So I'm kind of
Hmm.
glad you asked that because I was looking when I was watching the game.
Hmm.
I know me and King are real big on Spencer Dinwiddie actually being the guy that's going to command the second union. He kind of helps
Yeah.
them, get going or whatever. And they had him in there a little bit to kind of be that at one point again, like in the second quarter or whatever.
Yeah.
And so that right there kind of showed me is like you might need to have him come off the bench. You
Yeah.
might need to have him come off the bench and let him run that because that second union, if you think about it, we might have the best second unit in the league if you
In the
put
league.
Spencer
Yeah.
Dinwiddie on the bench. Yes, if you put him on the bench,
Yeah.
you're gonna have him, Tim, Christian Wood, and Max Cleaver being your 4 guys off the bench. That's gonna be your
Hmm.
4 key guys coming off the bench. That bench is probably better than probably half the starting lineups in the league right now.
Yeah.
So as far as what I'm saying, like him Josh Green starting, do you think he's gonna give enough offense to help Luka with the starting lineup? Because if you
That
think
would
about it,
be
everybody on that starting lineup is gonna be somebody that Luka has to set up.
that would be uh the thing I'm probably most concerned about when I'm thinking
Yeah,
about putting Josh Green. I think my thought when I was thinking about this and kind of playing with how the pieces will work. Um, I think what I like the fact that we are so heavily we're surrounding Luca with so much defense, and we're setting the tone that way. So where the bench comes in, then it's like we're if we can let's say hit a couple of threes, and play to our where our strengths would be the defense in that lineup, that hypothetical lineup, then we can bring all those cats in off the bench, and then really stretch the league, right? So that,
yeah,
I'm thinking about it. I'm not 100% against it. I remember earlier in the off season before the Josh hype train. Of course, I was like, I'm not for it, and then the hype started happening, and I eventually saw it, and then I'm thinking, I am seeing the changes in Josh. I'm seeing a lot more confidence in him. He looks like
yeah,
he's when he has possession of the ball, he's more assertive. He's more
yep,
decisive. He's not. It doesn't look like he's just like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
yeah,
And I know we talked about that in the roundtable. We mentioned that was one of the things that Kyle Lowry talked to him about, and we're seeing the results now. What we want to see is can he hit those corner 3 pointers. Now,
yeah,
for me, how I also look at it, because if you can search up and down every single Mavs podcast is talking about who can hit the three once Lucas sets him up. Um, one of the things I'm wanting Josh to develop is his ability to create off a defense that's off balance, right? Because we all
yeah,
know they're going to suck in to guard Luca. So how you're attacking the closeout? It doesn't have to be a three every time,
yeah.
but can you do something off that? We saw a little bit of Maxi trying to do it. It still doesn't look very comfortable. I don't want to
I was
surround.
cringing a little bit when he kind of put it on the floor. I was like,
Yeah, you would put it on the floor and like he would go
get
up, and
it
I'm
up.
like, you didn't look like you had a plan once you went up. You just
Yeah,
praying to your whatever God you pray to that the refs will call a foul on that play. But if he can develop some sort of mid range floater, we know he has the passing ability.
there you go.
Um,
Yeah,
but so many people focus on on the 3-point, and that's all. That's good to have, of course, especially in this modern day basketball. But can you also create off of that? Because the 3-pointer is not going to be there every time, and I don't want it to just be like, oh, if the 3-pointer's not there, just give it back to Luka. No, my dude, create. The defense is off balance, dude, and
You
with
know
this
what though,
added
Enyi?
ability to pass the ball, that would
Mm-hmm.
that's like the template of the ideal teammate I want around Luka.
Next to Luca.
No.
Two things. I think the reason why, well, for one, I know for me, I was like just small. We're not asking you to be what you were last year, and all of a sudden you Sadiq Bey now or Desmond
Yeah.
Bain like that over the off season.
Mm-hmm.
I think what people saying with the three is for kind of for two reasons. Just start small, start
Mm-hmm.
working your way on that because you get more with those corner threes than you are like you and like putting the ball on the floor and all that stuff. Depending on what kind of situation they put him in. Like if they want him to be like the third ball handler, then yeah, you're gonna have to be more of a creative guy and kind of be able to get your own a little bit out the bounce. But we feel like you're gonna get more opportunities while Luka is driving and kicking the people. You're gonna have more
Yeah.
opportunities for those corner threes. We saw Dodo hit, took like 2 or 3 of them today. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get opportunities like that. Um,
Everybody
so
and
that's
anybody. If I played out there with Luka, I'll get opportunities. I mean,
yeah,
it's just the way it
exactly.
is. You just got to hit them.
The thing too with the whole, you said you asked me about the whole Josh Green being in the starting lineup, and see the thing that gives me, I feel like Luka's usage will be not like last year. 'Cause last year was a little bit lower, but
Uh
like the
huh.
year before, if you
Yeah,
put
yeah. When it was
a
like
guy like
extremely
Josh
high.
Green with him in the starting lineup, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, do you trust Josh Green enough? I'm not saying he got to go out there and be like C.J. McCollum or somebody like that. I'm just saying like,
That would
do
be
you
nice.
trust him enough to kind of create enough to where you got to
As
put
of
all the
right
pressure
now,
on Luka? I got to set everybody up in the starting lineup. You know
I
what I
mean,
mean?
as of right now, no. I just will want to. I'm more curious to see how it will work.
Yeah.
Is maybe Luca can
Now the
get
defense would be
going.
stupid.
Yeah, it was like maybe Luca for the first 6 minutes can just just get yourself going, get everyone else going, get them open looks. Uh, Josh, let it fly. Don't think about it. Don't hesitate. You know, do what we worked on over the summer and let it fly. If you miss, you're not going to get taken out. This ain't Rick Carlisle. You ain't going to get yanked if you miss a couple. Um,
Yeah.
but the idea is to probably, are we allowed to cuss on this?
Oh, good.
Okay. So the idea in my head is, you want to fuck with the rhythm of the other team, right? So their guys will have trouble getting going, and then while they're still trying to find
Oh,
your
okay.
rhythm, now we're like, all right, let's bring a
Hit
boys
you with
in.
that second unit.
Tim,
Yeah, I
yeah,
got you.
Vince,
I got you.
Christian, bro. Oh my God, Christian. I'm really excited about Christian Wood. To me, he's
Man.
everything. He's every. He is everything street clothes wanted to be, but
Yeah.
ain't. Um, and I'm really excited what he can bring to the table.
With him, he got another double double, of course, and just like with Luca, I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
feel that double double. I mean, I'm not gonna put too much. I'm not gonna read too much into because it's preseason. Everybody's
It's
kind of trying to get
preseason,
what they're.
and yeah, the
Yeah, you
last
know what I
game was a
mean.
week
Yeah,
ago.
exactly. So, but for him to have a double double in 22 minutes is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the negative for me in this, as it comes to that, I mean, like we were saying, maybe it has a lot to do with the fact that they played today, but didn't play again for a whole another 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
This big old gap in between games or whatever. But um, the pick and roll game between Luca and Christian Wood.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it needs a little work.
Yeah.
It needs a little work. Um, you can see the potential. You can see the
Mm-hmm.
potential because Luca
Definitely
set him
saw it in
up
the
with a
third
couple of
quarter.
three. Yeah,
Yeah.
you go. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's why I said like I'm not gonna just poo poo on it and say it looks trash because
Mm-hmm.
you can see the potential there with that like that if they can get that clicking. Like I think DDP said in the roundtable, it's gonna take them a little time to kind of get used to each other and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
because like you said, this is a completely different player that Lucas played with. He is what people thought street clothes was gonna be. And
Mm-hmm.
so for him to come in and do what he's doing right now, showing what he can do right now in the preseason, he's a different cat from what KP street clothes was.
Hey, whoa,
So
whoa.
so
My ears, bro.
Luca
Yo,
So Luca
yo.
and yeah, my I know it's a family show. I'm sorry, y'all. My apologies. But no, but them two to kind of link up. You see a little bit of Luca and also Bill McGee linking up. I feel like
Hmm.
that's gonna take a little bit more time because the spacing on
Yeah.
their pick and roll, you could tell it's like okay, timing. Like I think Luca and Powell can do it with their eyes closed. You know what I'm saying? But with
Yeah. And
with JaVale
people,
McGee and them,
I don't think people remember when we first drafted Luca. I think Carlisle and Dwight Powell flew to Slovenia to have to I guess work on that with each other. So they were getting going on that
oh
process from the get go. Uh, so I mean, yes, we got McGee is he's upgrade over Dwight Powell for sure,
oh my God,
but just
yes,
the chemistry stuff. This is why when we talked about this before the pod, I did not like the fact that we only had 3 preseason games because
yeah,
we have key guys that we need them to have real chemistry or build real
yes,
chemistry with each other that you're not really going to get in a practice setting. You're going to get in a somewhat simulated game setting, and the best simulation of a real game is a preseason game, and so we would have had four. If we're gonna have 4 or 5 games to work on that, maybe we would have had some of that process going by the time the season starts. Especially with you know we had the game against the Magic Friday a week ago,
yeah,
the 7th,
yep,
and then 14th is when the next game is. I mean, these we looked like it was the first preseason game in the first
yeah,
half of the game
yep.
because of
It
that.
did.
Like
You right. Cause
so.
I was sitting there, man. I'm like, cause I mean, I think you had tweeted it, and I was just like, yeah, he's right. I didn't think about that. And when you said that, that's when my mind went to what I saw in this game. I'm like, he's
Hmm.
right. It looked like you were out of rhythm, cause
Hmm.
like I said, you had it's too many gaps in between. Cause we used to having it what like eight,
Yeah, it used to
ten
be. It used
preseason
to be
games or something
80.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So it's just it's hard for you to get a rhythm, and then now you going. I think our first game was on national television, and then you're playing Phoenix.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I want to look at some numbers here. Let me ask you a question. What do you think about Spencer Dinwiddie? Now he only got you 3 points, but he got you 9 assists.
Yeah. So Spencer, it looks like he's taking, as of right now, he's taking more of a facilitator role.
Yeah, I told
Um,
King that.
so if he's going to do that, then I'll definitely want him to be off the bench because why are you taking the facilitator role if you're playing alongside Luca? If you're not going to be
Yeah,
aggressive, why is he starting? Now, nothing against Spence. I have a lot of faith in Spence, and then maybe he will get that turned around because I have a lot of um I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I'm thinking that he's going to be a lot better than he was last year because he's another year removed from his ACL tear.
ACL.
So
Yeah,
yeah, so if he's going to be facilitator mode, nothing wrong with that. Cool, whatever. I would say think about starting Josh. If you're open to starting Jaden, I'm low key kind of hey, get you 6 minutes and probably play 12 minutes a game, the first 6 minutes of both halves, and then we don't see you again. But it will be something to just to get him going, get some extra offense going, because I don't want to just stick Dinwiddie in the corner and then have
yeah.
him do nothing. And then when he gets the ball, he's just out here passing it back to Luca. Um, so uh, it
He
was
had that
rough.
excuse last year, man, because he had Jalen Brunson. He had that
Yeah,
excuse
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah. But yeah, he's
But
supposed to
now,
be
yeah, you got to be
number
that.
two
You supposed to be
guy.
that guy. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know. He's a smart guy. I'm not worried about him. He will figure it out. He's in a good situation now. He likes his teammates. We saw the podcast that he did on um with
Theo Pinson.
Henson. Did you watch that, by the way?
Yeah. I watched it.
Fantastic podcast.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. I think you sent that to us.
I said, yeah. I sent the clip, but then the podcast, the whole thing came out the day
Yeah,
after. He also did another one with the coach.
Dudley. Jared
Yeah,
Dudley. I
I
watched that
literally
one too.
watched that one from beginning to the end. It was
Yeah,
fantastic.
I did too.
I digress though, but I forgot what I was talking about. But we're talking about Spencer Dinwiddie. Um, if he wants to be, if he wants to go in the facilitator role,
Come
man,
off that bench. Come off that bench, man.
yeah, because
Okay, I got to.
that's a very stout bench. I would prefer him if he can find a way to kind of switch off the facilitator mode when he's playing with Luca, knowing
Yeah.
that Luca's going to garner a whole lot of attention and Luca's going to have a whole bunch of gravity going towards him every time he makes a move towards the basket. He needs to be a lot more aggressive. And then when he's playing with the second group, um, probably at the start of the second quarter, then he needs to turn. Hey, I need to get Christian going. I need to get Tim some shots. I need to get Maxi some shots and stuff like that. And of course, I need to get my own shots too, but I need to get them like old school Steve Nash style versus modern day point guards. You know what I mean? I
Listen,
guess that's what I was trying to say.
nah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Because with him, like you want him to be. I mean, I'm not saying this because he's taking his spot, but you
Yeah.
want him to be Jalen Brunson. Like
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson had a certain balance to him, and so that's what you want him to be. Now Jalen Brunson, because he knew Luka was the guy who's going to be facilitating a little bit more, he go
Mm-hmm.
out there and be aggressive and just score. That's what we want
Yeah.
Spencer to do. Like
Mm-hmm.
pick and choose your, when you pass and all that stuff and facilitate and stuff like that. But your first mind frame needs to be you need to go score.
Yeah.
Go score. Especially like you said, especially if you're in the starter lineup because Dodo can't create on his own, Reggie can't create on his own, and JaVale McGee can't create on their own.
Yeah.
So you have to help me create more
Yeah.
offense, generate offense out here. So if you
He
just going out there and just like, I'm gonna
definitely needs
stand
to
in the
take a load
corner,
off Luka for sure.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, take a page out of Jalen Brunson's book from last year. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Jalen will get you 4 or 5 assists, but guess what? He can hit you with this 16, 17, 18, 19 or whatever to take a little bit more of that offensive pressure off of Luka, man. That's what we need you to do. I was gonna say something too. Oh, your boy got hot tonight, man. Old
Yeah.
Timmy.
He's good for that. He's good for that.
So let me ask you a question.
Uh-huh.
So he's looked good in the fan jam,
Okay.
and he looked pretty solid here in the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you if you had to bet your house on it, can he carry this over to the regular season? Like if we play against Phoenix, can we get this Tim against Phoenix?
See, the problem is with Tim is he's gonna shoot like that
Yeah.
all 82 games, but that Tim is gonna come out every maybe 4 or 5 games.
Yeah.
He's a very inconsistent. Hopefully, we want to see a little bit more consistency. Maybe it can happen every 3.
Especially if he's
2
not
games.
the guy that like he's not like the second or third option anymore.
That's true.
So the pressure's off of you now. So you don't have to go out there and feel like you tense. Like man, I gotta make this shot. Or
Yeah,
lose.
that's a very good point. Maybe if we can get a more loose Tim Hardaway, maybe that can translate to more made buckets. And if that's the case, I wouldn't. If we want to explore him being in the starting lineup, try to get some offense going with a little bit of defense. I think this roster is going to be a lot fluid than people think. There's not going to be like these are our starting 5 and that's going to be it no matter who we play and what we do or whatever. I think it's going to be fluid. But man, with
you know
Tim,
what too, Enyi?
What?
This roster, I think. I don't know if you brought this up on the round table. This team, if you look at matter of fact, I forgot to post it, but this team is like 10 deep.
Mm-hmm.
So this the 10 right here that we are gonna probably look at being in the rotation. These gonna be your guys.
Mm-hmm.
JaVale McGee, Dodo, Spencer Dinwiddie, Reggie Bullock, Luka. That's 5.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got Tim, Christian Wood, Maxi Kleber, Josh Green.
Mm-hmm.
That's 10. I didn't name Frank. I didn't name Powell. I didn't name Jaden Hardy, and I didn't name Bertans.
Yeah. Now listen to y'all's last pod. Y'all were kind of shitting on Frank. Now I'm not a Frank apologist, and I'm not saying that he's
let me defend myself before you say something. Let me
Okay.
defend myself. So this is what I was saying. Now y'all know I like Frank. I got a video talking about us signing Frank. And we signed him, right?
Yeah.
For what we're hearing, what we were hearing. I don't know if it was Nico. I can't remember if he said something. But I know
Yeah. They definitely
they hyped
they
him
were
up like
trying
he's
to
gonna be
sell
that
us
third
on him
ball
being the
handler.
third.
Yeah, and kind of like what Bibb said, man, in the roundtable. I agree with him. It's like if he's your third ball handler, are you confident?
No.
See what I'm saying? And that like Frank fits more in the mold of a 3 and D, but his
Mm-hmm.
threes are yeah, you know what I mean. But very good defender. Nobody's ever questioned Frank's
Yeah.
defense. It's just you've been in the league for 6 years now, and you have no type of offensive identity. I'm not saying you gotta go out there and look like Luka on offense, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
are you a good corner 3-point shooter? Are you a good mid range shooter? Are you a
Mm-hmm.
good spot up shooter? Are you a good off the curl
Yeah.
screen shooter? Like what are you? You have nothing to your game. It's like
Yeah.
you're the exact same player. You were a good defender as a rookie. You are the exact same player your rookie year as you are today, and it's like,
Yeah.
where's the growth? And that was the issue that they were having with him in New York, and that's kind of the issue we're having now. It's like I like Frank, but it's like if he was not to play all season, would you miss him?
I mean, he
'Cause
missed a large amount of time last year,
you
and
see
no
what I'm
one
saying?
noticed.
And
Yeah.
nobody noticed. Like Josh
Nobody
Green
noticed.
over the offseason has just in one offseason has taken a step over Frank. Would you say that?
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like if you had a gun in my head and you said, hey, you got to pick one of these guys to be the ball handler, who you trusting out of Josh Green and Frank?
Josh.
See what I'm saying? And so
I don't even need a gun in my head.
yeah, like don't put that on me. I give you the answer already. I'll
No,
give you the answer.
yeah.
And that's how we feel, man. Like I said, that's not a knock to Frank. It's just like,
Yeah.
look, we're trying
I
to get somewhere, bro. And
I
you
definitely
know,
get what you're saying, but having Frank as your 11th guy, he there is some uses for him. That's not bad. That's
yeah,
not a
we,
bad
we saw it in
11th
the
guy to have.
playoffs.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
saw it
yeah,
in the playoffs.
yeah.
That's why I said I'm not talking down on him.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
get it. I was just trying to bust out the bubbles, but no, I definitely, having Frank over there, I would say Mavs is a deep team, and we're probably not as deep as we were 11. In 2011, that team was
No.
freaking
But they
deep.
deeper
I
than they
think
were
like
last year for sure.
Corey Brewer was our 12 guy. It was pretty
Yeah,
nasty how deep that team was. But we should be as deep, or if not deeper than we were. Yeah, than we were last year. And we have a bunch of auxiliary dudes. Um, we still have Frank. Like, hey, we need defense. Frank, go, fuck around with Devin Booker and throw him off his game. And
like
Berton.
Frank isn't Trey Burke or
No. He's not. Yeah,
Marquise
yeah.
Chris. Like them guys
No,
not
it
gonna put
wasn't.
them in the
Whereas
game.
like
You know what I'm saying? Like when they
Trey,
put Frank in, we're not gonna be
we're
like, man, don't
desperate.
put him
We're
in the game.
desperate, Trey. Hopefully you
Yeah.
come in and maybe hit a couple of shots. Or
So yeah.
Chris, we have no big man presence, and you're not much of one either. But hopefully you just, maybe throw.
So
You're a new face that maybe it will throw him off somehow. Like who the
I
fuck is
was
this
like,
guy?
give us some Salah Mesri moments, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like Salah used to have it'll be
Didn't
tiny
you used
moments.
to have dreads or something? Or maybe he
Yeah.
threw him off a little bit. But no, we have some auxiliary guys that can be useful in very limited basis, with Bertans and Frank being our 11th to 12th guy. And then
Do you from what we've seen here, like where did you originally have Dallas at in the West?
it's tough. It's Dallas is, in my opinion, Dallas has the widest range of outcomes in the West because of
I
that
believe
Luka
that too.
factor. If you look at our roster straight up, like if it was 2K or something, it's not that sexy of a roster, but Luka is that great multiplier. The way you build around Luka is not the same way you will build around most players in the league. So
Right.
you can look good with having a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Reggie Bullock, a Josh Green or whatever, just around Luka, and you look at it, it's like, bro, this cats ain't nothing. Like, there's no pedigree. There's not even a first round pick other than Luka in this lineup. What the crap is this? And the next, we're taking the number 1 seed to 7 games and whooping them by 40 points in their own place.
Oh man, my favorite game of all time.
Bruh, my favorite game of all time was Game 2, 2011 in the finals. But that
Oh
was
yeah, yeah.
that right there, that Game 7. I still watch like my favorite thing to do is to watch reaction. People react to
Yeah,
it.
I'm doing it too. I'm doing it too because
There's like a
man, to
The
see
Sun
them
fan
people
that
faces,
didn't.
man, that crowd when it was
Yeah.
like when it, the
Oh
score
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
30.
yeah. Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yes, like
You try to spot one person in the crowd. They're like, "What's his reaction
they're
to
sitting
like
like
Luca
this.
doing?" Yeah, there's a dude when Luca dropped Cam Johnson. There's a dude in the stands that just like he looked like he just like gave up, just right then and there.
Oh,
I
and
was like, bro,
it made it even fun. Like it made it
yeah,
greater, bro, because those people like with the main like we had people on our show coming in like, oh, it's over in well when they lost that first game to us,
mm-hmm.
oh, we're still gonna beat y'all in 5 and this and that and this, and we had people tweeting us like, oh, y'all just y'all ain't
Yeah,
better than all these whatever. It's like, man, come on, man, like
yeah,
still it's a 7-game series, calm down, and as soon as like we won those like 2 games, matter of fact, we won those 2 games.
yeah.
We didn't hear anything from anybody. But when they won Game 5, oh, it's 6. And at that, of course, we already know what happened. We didn't hear anything else from them.
That
All
is.
we heard was excuses.
I talk about this with my brother all the time. It is the emotional swings of NBA playoff basketball. Um,
Yeah.
and I did this 2 years ago, and the funny thing is, like, I went into the playoffs knowing that that tends to happen. We'll win 2 games, and we'll be like, that's it. The Clippers are swept. They're over. They might as well move the Clippers back to Seattle or back to San Diego. That whole franchise is just gone. It's done. And then they win 2 in Dallas, and then we're like, fuck, we're done. It's over, or whatever. It's like that's the emotional swings of playoff
Yeah.
basketball. So I went into that series thinking like, okay, we lost the first 2 games. I was looking at the film and thinking, okay, what is it that we're doing wrong? Is this something that people that are smarter than me can identify? Obviously, and then can we make the change? How hard is it to make the change? And it was very simple. We're one thing that
You know what the issue was, Enyi. I mean, it's a certain player that we can't talk about in this show. You know the issue was. When I'm giving you 13 and 5, and I'm supposed to be the second option, making 30 something plus mil a year. That's your answer right there.
And to speak, I remember I forgot what I don't know if it was the roundtable or I did another podcast where I was talking about the miraculous things that Luka was doing that we just tend to over I don't want to say overlook, but just kind of like, okay, that's just part of
we
whatever.
used to it now. Yeah.
The fact that he went 7 games with Kawhi and Paul George and the Clippers team, and the people backing him up, like literally, he was looking to his left and there's street clothes. He's looking to his right. There's Tim Hardaway, who's probably like a 4th or 5th guy now. He's looking behind him is Boban Marjanovic, who's not on the team anymore.
Your starting center.
Yes.
Which was crazy,
This
man.
man's going to war with Boban as a starting center.
Let me ask you a question. You think we had Jason Kidd in that series, we would have won? Knowing what you know now? Because I always hear about how Rick Carlisle
Jason Kidd had a more experienced Jalen Brunson, and I think he's the difference maker. By that time, Jalen Brunson was still dealing with whatever he was dealing with, and he couldn't break through whatever mental barriers that was holding him back to where he could contribute like he did the year after. Right. So literally, it was Luka against the world, and then we won those 2 games with Tim Hardaway shooting his ass off. He was like shooting 60%, and then emotional swings. That was something I was overlooking. Or we're all as a fan base were overlooking. We're like Clippers were done, but it's like he's definitely going to regress back to 40% maybe. Yeah. But I mean, it was what it was. But it was still fun.
And we didn't expect Kawhi to shoot 99% from the field.
Was,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's the crazy thing. Like literally, Kawhi with what he was going against, Kawhi literally had to go nuclear to even for his team to stand a chance.
just to barely beat Dallas. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
what
like they were
it's
just blowing
right.
them
It's
out.
7
You know.
games. Like, bruh,
Yeah.
Boban Marjanovic literally was our starting center, and Kawhi Leonard had to freaking put up like 45, damn near 50 points in those like last 2 games to even stand a
Yeah.
chance. So when you were asking me what do I see the Mavs, that's what the original question was.
Right.
It's hard for me to even place them yet because if we put it all
Don't cop
together,
out,
like
man.
I'm like King, like when King says I can see the Mavs being the number 1 seed, I'm like, it's not that crazy if we can put it together. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like all the pieces fit. We have, you know, if Luca and street
Christian Wood.
clothes could actually work, it will look a lot like what we believe what Luca and Christian Wood can do.
So you tell
Right?
me, Luca and street clothes in the bubble is what you want to see out of Luca and Christian Wood. Are we trying to tell me?
Imagine if we had a whole year of bubble street clothes and Luca. That would be a tough team to beat. So
We definitely wouldn't have been on the road first round. I'll tell you that.
exactly. So that's what the thing that when I'm trying to, I guess, predict what they're going to be, I could say 4 maybe. Let's say 4. But the West is so tough and it's so deep that literally I can state the case for a combination of different standings, but containing like 9 different teams in the playoffs, right? Um, and I can see, the Mavericks being as low as play-in and as high
Hold on. He said low as who now?
as low as the play-in.
Yeah,
Like
I don't like what you just said, man.
I'm so, if I'm
You
being
scaring
real,
me, man.
if
You
I'm
scaring me,
looking
man.
at
I don't like that word, bro.
if I'm looking at that roster,
Playing is a cuss word on this show, man. Jesus.
if I'm looking at that roster, it's
Mm-hmm.
playing. But like I said before, Luka's the great multiplier. I would
Yeah.
not be surprised if the Mavericks also got the 3rd seed, the 2nd seed.
That's where
I
I'm
would
at.
be I would be a little
I'm
bit
right
surprised
there
if they got
around
the
that
1st
third
seed.
range, bro.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
just listen. The thing with me is because DDP got me kind of nervous because he talked about their slow starts. Not saying that he's going 16 and 18 or nothing like that, but
Yeah.
because of what we saw here in the preseason and them not getting a lot of games in between time like that. Like I said, you play today, but you don't play again to the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you have more time in between times. So now I'm just like
more rust to build up.
Yeah, thank you. More rust to build up. And that's making me a little nervous with the whole trying to get out the gate, better than you did like last handful of years or whatever. So that's why I'm just like, I'm gonna hold on hope and say the 3rd seed. But let me ask you this: what is a successful season for the Mavericks? I mean, barring of course, championship. Oh yeah, win a championship. I'm talking about like if they don't win a championship, what is a successful season for them? They don't give me the King answer either, bro. Don't be like, oh, they gotta win one more game than last year and they gotta go further.
That's also another tough one because it's going to be hard to do what we did last year.
And that right there, what you just said, is the reason why I asked you that. Because I know people who follow this channel for sure are gonna say a successful season is they gotta get to the finals. You gotta get to the finals. You gotta what we win 52. You gotta get more than 52 wins. Like you already got a number on it, right? But like people when we went 7 with the Clippers, people still kind of felt like it wasn't a successful season compared to when they went to 6. Like when they went 6 the year before, that was a successful season. When they went to 7, like even though they went one more game against them, people still didn't view that as a successful season. So because you won 53 games and you won, 3 games in the Western Conference Finals, that's still might not be viewed as a successful season depending on the situation or whatever like that.
Yeah. So
that's
to be honest with you, I really haven't thought about what I viewed as a successful season. But if I was to come up with one on the fly out, I mean, I would say competitive in the 2nd round. If winning
7.
Yeah, winning in 7 or losing in 7, not going out like how the Suns went out.
Please don't go out the Suns.
You can go if you win the Western Conference Finals again. Like going if we made it to the Western Conference Finals again, I don't care. That's still a successful season to us because that is hard to do. We saw the Denver Nuggets make it to the Western Conference Finals and have not made it back ever since. We saw the Portland Trail Blazers do the same thing, go to the Western Conference Finals and have not been anywhere close anywhere since. We have seen teams that won the number one seed and still not make it to the Western Conference Finals like the Utah Jazz did. You know what I mean?
You said the Suns? What you said?
No, I mean they at least went to the finals. They went to the finals and get the ass.
Yeah.
Right, but we saw the Utah Jazz be the number one seed the year before. I think the year of the bubble. No, the year of the bubble.
No, it was
the year after the bubble. The Utah Jazz
was
the number one seed and not even get past the second round, a la the Suns this past year. Right, so with the way how the West is shaking up, dude, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be so tough that I can't sit here and say a successful season is the NBA Finals or going 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. It's like, there's so many other teams that we're dealing with, right? Like the Memphis Grizzlies are coming back. The Pelicans say, hey, Zion is back. We had to deal with him. We got to play them 3-4 times now.
4, yeah.
They're not an easy dub like they were last year.
Nope.
You know what? F it. The fucking Kings. You know, we people overlook them.
Are you on that train like who's that?
And we already struggled
Mark
with them.
Spears said playoffs.
What?
And you like Mark Spears when he said playoffs for the Kings? He's convinced the Kings are going to the playoffs.
Who?
Mark Spears.
Mark Spears. I mean, look, they're putting together something nice over there in Sacramento, and we struggled with Sacramento when what they were producing wasn't nice. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a lot tougher than it was the last couple of years. Now, I mean, maybe if the Lakers fall, if the cracks fall through, we're already seeing they're talking about bringing Russ off the bench. That actually might be the better move.
Did you see the new news on Russ though?
What?
They revving back up trade talks.
Oof.
Yeah. Have you been seeing him though? Like Russ been kind of.
Yeah. It looks like he's been kind of aloof.
Yeah.
With that team. I don't know, man. That Lakers team, if they could be healthy and put it together, I can see it working. I can at least see it being successful in the regular season, but falling apart in the postseason. They still
don't have enough shooters, man.
That's the thing, though. That type of hole gets exposed in the playoffs. So, like, what I was thinking last year with the Lakers was they were going to be a good regular season team because of the amount of talent that they had. But come playoff time, they're going to get exposed and destroyed. But they got exposed in the preseason last year.
Thing too with that is Anthony Davis still doesn't want to play center.
He still doesn't want to play center, and I think he's hurt already.
They talked about, like, I think Darvin Ham talked about, like, going to talk to him about possibly moving him to the center, and then he came out with that quote pretty much saying, like, he didn't, I mean, I guess I'll do it, but I really don't want to do it type thing. And then, like we said, then you got the whole Russ thing, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, yeah.
And then we already talked about Schroeder. He's already hurt, and
then Schroeder got hurt. Yeah, they say he might be out for a long time too.
Yeah, it's one of the big additions of the offseason. So if a couple teams fall out of place, then I'll start feeling a lot better. But game one, it's gonna be tough. But at the same time, no matter what seeding, all the Mavericks have to do is get in, and then we have a chance.
Yeah, you saying that, Enyi, but you know how these Mad fans is. If you just get in, now when you say get in, you talking about even if they make the play-in?
If they make the play-in and get past the play-in and make it to the actual playoffs, they have a chance. Because we have a Luka Doncic.
Because we got Luka, yeah. No, I understand. I'm just saying.
So
I don't think Mad fans want to hear play-in.
And I think it might be one of those things where, the difference between 4th and, 7th is 4 games or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it was last year.
Yeah. It's not that big. It's not going to be that big of a difference. I'm in my prediction, it's not going to be that big of a difference in terms of winning percentage of the seventh seed in the fourth
Right.
seed. So they just might be because of just how it lined up. That's how it is. But we will still probably be, um, matched up with someone that we can take advantage of. Someone that they absolutely don't have anybody that can guard Luka, and then Luka does his thing, fucks them up, drops 30 points a game, a damn near triple double on them. And
Give you
that,
30, 10, and 7.
yeah, exactly.
Just an
And stuff
average.
like that. And so it's less like I said at the beginning of the question. It's such a wide range of outcomes that I can see from the Mavericks because of Luka Doncic variable. It's like because I we can see it. We saw it last year. Like, did we really, like, after they got past the Jazz? In my mind, successful season, house money going into Phoenix. Up until I heard a podcast, they were talking mad shit, and I was like, all right, fuck it, destroy him, and then it happened, and it was glorious.
Yeah.
But it was house money, and that's because of the Luka factor. Maybe ain't nobody thought we were gonna like literally go down our roster, and there's literally not a first. I don't think there's a first rounder in that rotation, other than Luka.
Frank was a first rounder.
Okay, he was eighth pick, but he was like the friend.
Trey didn't even play. I think they said Reggie Bullock was a late first round.
I thought he was a second round.
I thought he was a second round too, but I think they said he was a late first round. That's what King was saying.
Fine. So like the most pedigree outside of Luka was Reggie Bullock.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
And we had a bunch of like undrafteds and second rounders.
Yeah, second rounds, yeah. Because remember your second best player was a second round.
Exactly.
The third best player was a second round.
And the team that was number one had Devin Booker, who was a lottery pick, DeAndre Ayton, who was a freaking first pick, Chris Paul, who was a lottery pick. You had so much. Cam Johnson was also a lottery pick. You had so much pedigree with
Bridges.
Them. Yeah, exactly. It was a lottery pick that y'all traded for after y'all drafted DeAndre Ayton in that same draft. So it was like,
who they draft? Was it Zaire Williams?
No. I think so, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then they traded him.
Was it Zaire Williams? No, it was a boy from Texas Tech, I think. What's his name? No, it wasn't Culver.
It wasn't Culver, no.
No, it was Zaire Williams. It was Zaire Williams.
The one who plays for the Grizzlies now?
He went to Texas Tech before Culver came out. I think.
No, Tyrell Williams went to Stanford.
Okay, who am I thinking of? It's Zaire something though, I think.
Yeah.
I want to say. He was like the guard / wing.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me now that we
I gotta think about who that was, but yeah.
Yeah. But they had a pedigree. They, ever since that 8 games in a row in the bubble, they took off. They got Chris Paul, went to the finals. Even though they lost in the finals, they went into the next season with all that hype surrounding them, completely destroyed in the regular season, and they just fucked around and found out with Luka. they thought they had him. They're talking mad shit. Luka has his famous words that I hope that basketball historians cement in basketball history that when Luka says everybody acting tough when they up, and then proceeds to whoop them the next 2 games.
Put that on that man's statue if he end up getting a statue here in Dallas.
That's up there with Jordan, with the cigar in the locker room. That's up there with that should be up there with like basketball, like great basketball moments in NBA history.
Yes.
Like, that type of stuff. Like that was iconic. Everyone acting tough when they up, and then proceeds to whoop them the next 2 games. That's awesome. Anyway.
Hey, man, let's get into some of these questions here, man,
cool.
Before we head out. Listen, guys, y'all want to get something in here real quick? I'm not going to take a lot of questions tonight because I know it's a late one. But if you guys want to get your questions and comments in, guys, you already know what to do. Hit us with that WTM, guys, so that way we'll know. I'm going to go ahead and answer these first little few here, but we're going to start taking the WTMs here, guys. RC, what's good, man? I feel like it's been a while. He said, let's go Mavs. Yes, sir. Jilch said Meteor says THJ was nice. Yeah. That's what we were just talking about. Hopefully He can keep that up. He needs to be hot like that again. At least against
Yeah,
Phoenix, man. I want to bury Phoenix, bro. I can't
I
stand
want
it,
I want to I want to as well.
bro. Going talk about Phoenix, man. I was listening. I think I posted it on our page on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and this guy, it was like I guess it was around the time when they lost to the 36ers, and everybody was killing them. And so like I think it might have been the same people you talked about. They have a
Okay.
podcast, the Phoenix Suns podcast. I guess it's kind of like the equivalent of like Studio 41 or whatever. I guess they got their
Okay.
own like little podcast. I guess is what that is.
Okay.
But they were on there pretty much talking about like he need to lay off of him, man. You know, like of Booker and the Suns. Like why everybody hating on him? And I'm just like, so y'all don't remember y'all were front running literally the whole entire time.
Yeah.
You've been front running for 2 years, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
people getting on y'all, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's like they want to play victim. It's like, bro, I'm not trying to hear that, bro. Keep it coming. Keep
Yeah.
the jokes coming.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
lost to the 36ers, bro. Like we finna murder y'all. Like
That's
what are you
what we
talking
do.
about?
That's
Yeah,
what
like
NBA Twitter do. Like, what are we
like
supposed
then
to do?
don't front run it. Like you
Hold
should
on,
have been front. You
guys.
should
Hold
have
on,
been.
guys. They had
You
a
know
tough
what?
off season. Let's take it easy on them.
Exactly. Like, bro, come on, man. Like y'all been front running all off season. Now suddenly you playing victim, and then like those guys, like you
Yeah.
said, just like those guys you said you watched.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. Oh man, look at this and that and this. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They're literally they
Okay.
they were like they called Luca a cone. They were agreeing with Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
When Lil Wayne was saying Luca's a hoe. They were saying the Pelicans are better than the Mavericks. This is gonna be a cakewalk. I was like, bro, y'all need to have some
Hold on,
respect
let me
for
see.
real.
So this channel you talking about? Do they cover like everything Phoenix? Like
Yeah, they cover everything. Phoenix. I
Coyotes
think it's
and all
called
that?
like PHNX.
Yeah,
podcast.
that's them. Yeah, that's
It was
yep,
them.
That was them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched that, bro, and I'm just sitting there like
They had that fat dude on there with the glasses.
The glasses?
It sounds like PJ from the Goofy movie.
yeah. I'm just like, bro, yeah, really? Like you playing victim now? Y'all were the front
Yeah.
runners. Even y'all was doing the same thing. Man, be humble. Like Jesus, but yeah, I
don't know. I need to send you. I'll send you all that video. I don't think I have it anymore. It's on Facebook.
And the video you talking about, I probably seen that video. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I think you posted it. I talked about it. I think on Twitter one day, and I think I went back and looked at it to see what you were talking about.
Yeah, it
I'm
was
just like,
literally
bruh, come on, man.
Game 1. This is the shit they were talking. Game 2. this is
Yeah.
the shit they're even talking
I'm
more.
just sitting there
Game
like,
3, fuck, we lost. Game 4, like everyone shut up about Met Suns in 4. Game 5, yeah, Luka's a bitch. Game 6,
Yeah.
fuck, lost. Game 7, that was the worst ass whooping I've ever seen in my life. You know,
I mean, I think we're still gonna win Game 7. We're going back. We're playing at home and blah blah blah. It's like
Yeah,
nobody has won on the road yet. And
yeah,
I'm guaranteed to win. I said, oh okay. Then bam, Game 7. And then they had her
Game
making
7.
excuses on why they lost. Kinfolk says, congratulations, Kinfolk, on the marriage. Ready for the season. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it. We definitely ready for it, too. All right, let's get into these WTMs. Corey, what's good? He says, Josh Green got that energy. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is why I'm kind of like hesitating on, like, should he start? Because he would bring a certain energy. That way we can start a little better in the game.
I think we should try it. I think
I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, it can't be that bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't be disastrous,
Yeah.
but the fact that Luka would have to literally do everything on offense.
That's the only thing about it. As far as asking,
That was
like,
the one.
think,
That was the one reason why I didn't want Christian Wood to come off the bench, because I was like,
we said that too.
yeah, I was like, I don't want Luka to have to do everything. Like the point of Christian Wood is to take load off of.
Speaking of Christian Wood, Enyi,
Okay,
what did you think of his defense tonight?
I saw some promising things.
Yes.
I saw some promising things. I saw some promising things against the Orlando Magic too.
Well, yeah. But like
he was staying
tonight,
in front.
especially, yes.
He got a couple blocks. But,
yes.
Yes. More importantly than the blocks, he was staying in front. He was making it hard. There was those times where, people get around him easy, but I think he just doesn't know. Here's the thing about Christian Wood. He's been in this league for a long time. I think how long? About 7 years, something like that.
Now.
And all the teams he were on were bad teams, right? And so the little intricacies that he hasn't picked up, we're gonna see that. And there was a particular play when the ball was I think it was like a broken play on offense or defense, and that ball swung twice, and Christian didn't even know like he was the dude to close out the shooter. And that's probably something that in his losing situation when he was with the Rockets, when he was with Detroit, and
Just
all
let
the
it
other
go.
situations he was in, especially Philly back when they were probably still tanking, um, that they weren't harping on. But it, of course, we're gonna need him to put forth that energy, and it's gonna take time. Like we're not gonna knock off every single habit that he's gained throughout the years of being in the
In
league
three
and
preseason games.
three exactly in three preseason games, right? But there's tools that we can work with, and then once he gets the coaching, he gets a little bit the one-on-one coaching. I know freaking what's the coach
Sweeney.
Brooklyn Coach Sweeney's go get on his ass, but I know for a fact after watching the podcast, I forget names when I'm on camera. Um, Coach, what's the freaking dude? Boston College.
Saint Jean.
Boston College. The player.
Oh, Dunley.
Dudley,
Chris,
JD,
yeah,
yeah, Coach
yeah,
Dudley. I know he will get on his
Jared
ass.
Dudley.
That's why we brought him in because he was doing that. He was getting on LeBron's ass. He was getting on AD's ass. So he will call out Christian. I would venture to say I would put money on it that when they go through film on that play, they will say you're supposed to close out because I think they do the cross close out, and he didn't. He didn't do it. He hesitated, and
Because I believe they double the first person who touches it
some yeah,
when
yeah,
they
yeah.
swing it. So then that person who was guarding the initial guy who got swung to first, he does the
Mm-hmm.
cross. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. So there's tools that I'm sure once it gets coached into him, he's gonna be nice. We're gonna see some
Yeah,
good
I believe
things.
so
It
too.
won't be as easy to score on him um, than what we have seen. So that's
I
my
definitely agree.
2 points on that or 2 cents on that.
Johnny B says, "Damn, King got black. Man, hey, nah, yeah, King ain't on tonight, man. King ain't on tonight.
Johnny bro, hey, that's the funniest dude, bro. I love Johnny bro.
Nah, I love Johnny B, man. Be killing me on Twitter, man. I be
Yeah.
innocently sitting in my house, man. He killing me, man. Johnny B. Marco says, Tyler Dorsey played effective, with less efficient with less minutes, and said he can contribute good offense, and I love our depth. Yeah, he did pretty good today. He hit
Hmm.
some kind of in rhythm threes today.
Hmm.
Not too bad, man. Not too bad.
And
I
that's, I
told
mean,
Enyi too before we started the show. I met him. I saw him at the fair here in State Fair, Texas. Here, I saw him. I kind of shook his hand, spoke to him a little bit. I should have told him about. King told him I should have said something to him about the show, but I was like, I can't do that, man. I don't think he wanted to hear what we were talking about with him on the show. So yeah,
he's definitely someone that probably could have benefited from more preseason games. Now I understand
yes,
if they don't want to work Luka too hard, it's like, bro, he didn't have to play, but you could have got more of our auxiliary players more minutes so they can get in a rhythm. So when Luka gets in the ball, they won't be so rusty. But
well,
they made it.
and I don't think he getting cut either.
Huh? You don't think
I
he
don't
getting
think.
cut? Do you think he getting cut or no
Oh, let me see, bro.
after
Hold on.
tonight?
Nah, because I'm looking at the roster from
Mm-hmm.
tonight. Wright is the only one on this team that I see right now that can be the other. Because they cut everybody else. And Kid talked about that in the press conference, I think it was yesterday. They did that on purpose to kind of give those guys some time to find where they need to go or whatever, or team or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. Um, nah, I don't think he can cut. I could be wrong. Unless they find somebody from another team or something, like, you know what, I actually like him better. Lose him, we'll get that guy in here. They still got time. You know what I'm saying?
Who did the 76ers just 76ers
Man.
just dropped somebody that I remember doing some research on a couple of years ago in the draft, and I was interested in them. It wasn't Paul Reed, it was the other guy, but I can't remember. So
I'm not even sure.
Like I said, I'm so bad. You put a camera on me, I forget every name that.
Bruh. And McClung got cut again.
Mac McClung, right?
I'm like, what's going on with that?
Bro, I was thinking that like 2 weeks ago. I'm like, yo, we're trying to find a third ball handler. What's wrong with Mac McClung?
McClung nice though, man. Like he quick. He's very efficient in the pick and roll. I'm like, yeah, athletic. I'm like, what's going on? Maybe I don't know. He looked good in Golden State.
There's so many options, but I guess they wanted to be a veteran. I think that's what they're thinking. But
I guess, but I was like, man, that dude, he was nice in that Golden State offense, man. Johnny B says, congrats on the wedding rail, and what up, Enyi? Enyi, my boy. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, man. Let's see.
Great follow.
Man, dang it, man. I feel like it's been a minute for you, man. He says, what up? What's up, Amount? I feel like it's been a minute. Harold says, congrats, real married life ain't easy, bro. Good luck. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Marco also says, in my opinion, I'm gonna stick Luka, Hardy, Bullock, Dorian, and McGee. Also letting Spencer Green, TJ Wood, Kleber become second unit. What do you think? Hardy still look. I'm gonna say this right now too. I don't want y'all to have this idea of what y'all think Hardy is right now or what he could be, and he doesn't get there, and y'all kind of like throw him to the side. Listen, this kid needs work. I'm not saying like he's not gonna be good at all this year. He could be good this year, but I don't want y'all to expect him to just come out here and look like, Jalen Brunson this year. Because remember, it took Jalen Brunson 4 years to beat Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? So let's give kids some time. Let's let him develop here a little bit. Do I see him playing a lot of games this year with the team? No. I've said this before. I see him getting more burn in the G League. You know what I'm saying? Kind of get him going a little bit and kind of work him in. Maybe get him some burn in the G League because I don't see him getting enough consistent minutes with this team the way it's constructed right now for him to, kind of get that impact or kind of get that development that y'all think he's going to get this year. So let's get a kid some time to develop, put him in the starting lineup. I don't know if he's ready for that yet. And if I think that if that was the case, Marco, I think they would have put him in tonight.
Yeah.
I think tonight is what we're expecting the team to look like. Like, this is what your offense, what your starting line is going to look like. This is what your bench is going to look like. This is who the first guy coming off the bench is going to look like, all that stuff. I think this is what they planned on tonight. This was the dress rehearsal.
Yeah, 10 guys got a lot of burn tonight.
Yeah, and it was, you're right.
Jaden Hardy was not one of them. Not even.
Yep, it was Frank, Josh. Yeah, because Frank got minutes over Hardy.
Yeah, he did.
He got 12. Josh Green had 16. Cleveland 17. Wood 22. Hardaway 24. Bullock 25. Luka 30. Dinwiddie 25, Dorian 24, and then McGee 13 because McGee should start at center. So he's gonna play that. That Powell has 7 minutes, and that also tells me too. I don't think Powell gonna play a lot this. I mean,
Powell's not gonna play a lot this year.
Yeah, he's not gonna play a lot. I said when I realized that when they put him in the game towards the end of the game, I was like, okay, I see what they're doing because they're rotating McGee, and it's gonna be McGee, Christian Wood, and Maxey going to be that 3 big man rotation. Yeah. Which I'm cool with that.
Now, I'm not against Powell getting in, some probably spelling some McGee minutes, probably getting 10 minutes here and there every now and then. So because Dwight is a very good regular season player. But,
oh, yeah.
Because when you're dealing with, McGee's an older guy. And then 35. You have Maxey. We're trying to preserve him because he tends to get hurt a lot. So that will probably be your reason you'll see Dwight in the minutes that he's probably going to play. Because he has a good rapport with Luka already. But when he's playing, the idea is to, take loads off of McGee and Maxey, because come playoff time, those are going to be the dudes we're rocking with, and we're going to see very little Dwight Powell. On the plus side, Dwight Powell will have a lot more time to do his community service stuff. Yes, he's so good at it.
That is the key, Enyi. That's the key. That's the part everybody's missing. Coy says Tim got excited. Yeah,
Tim got him excited. Yeah,
got him excited. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what
Media
about
side, yeah.
Tim. I'll tell you what about Tim. When he's not playing, it's very easy to throw him in the trade machines. But for some reason, I don't know about you guys, but I love watching Tim shoot. I love
Tim
his
got a nice, yeah, he got a nice form.
he has
Yeah.
a nice release, and especially when he's hot like he is today, I could watch him shoot all day. Of course, he's gonna frustrate me, but I think every championship team should have that freaking boom or bust type guy on their team because you never know when he might come and he might be very opportunistic. And I remember the legend of what's his name? See, I always forgetting names. Shane Battier is better to be lucky than good. And so maybe Tim comes in and playing against the Warriors in a Western Conference rematch, and they're in the zone, and Tim gets hot, knowing that he's just gonna get wide open threes because they in the zone.
Listen, not only that, like with Tim, you hoping that because he slide down the pecking order, which he's not gonna get as many attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the less attempts, the more efficient he is. That's what I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
I like I like the less pressure. You don't. I have I have Spencer. I have Luka. I got Christian that can also carry the load on offense. Back in the day, it was literally he was in a leadership council. It was him, Street Clothes, and Tim. You know what I mean? Like, that was hypothetically our big three.
Leadership council. I forgot about that.
That man was talking about being the Michael Finley to Luka and Dirk
Nash and Dirk. Yep.
So no, you ain't got to be the Michael Finley, bro. Just be Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim.
Keep shooting. Let them hosts fly.
Johnny says Spencer, Tim, and Wood equal best bench in the league, top 3 at least. Yeah, I agree, Johnny.
I agree.
Too. Like I said, you could throw Maxey in there too.
Mm-hmm.
You could throw Maxey in there, maybe Josh Green. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, it depends on who starts with it.
Who's starting at that 2-3
but
position.
If those are the top 3, that bench right there, to me, is better than, like, say, the bench that the Clippers had when they had Montrezl Harrell and Lou Will. Because you had 2 guys, we got 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because would you say Christian Wood is better than Montrezl Harrell?
Yep.
And Spencer's probably on the same par as like Lou Will.
Yep.
And then you add Tim.
Or a little bit less, but I would say Christian Wood is a lot better than Montrez.
Yeah.
Skills wise, at least.
Harold says Josh Green ain't hitting threes though.
Yeah, he said that when we were talking about Josh, inserting Josh in the starting lineup, and maybe he could hit threes, but
well, hold on, let me go back to that matchup, bro, because we shot 37%. We only made 17 threes today, so and then most of them was like Tim.
Yeah.
Hit his threes, and then Christian Wood hitting a few of them too in the third quarter.
Hitting 2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So nobody really was like just hitting their shots like that tonight. So I'm just gonna kind of give them a little time. Let these guys play more games, because when the season starts, ain't gonna be no more that you play today, don't play again until 2 weeks later stuff.
Yeah,
like they did during the preseason.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get more of a rhythm going, man, because you're gonna play more games in the meantime. Like in a week, you'll probably play 3, maybe 4 games. So
yeah,
it'll be a little bit more balanced or whatever. So it'll give those guys time to kind of get their shots and their rhythm and stuff going, to where he could probably start hitting his threes.
Yeah, and
corner 3 too. That's the key. If he can turn into Bruce Bowen on the corner 3s, we could, bro. You know what I'm saying? The defense and the 3s. Johnny says, I think the bench unit has the potential to be better than the starters. Dinwiddie, THJ, Frank, Wood, Maxey has offense, defense, shooting, ball movement. Ball movement. Oh, they play faster and get out in transition. Yeah,
that's true. We saw that tonight. When they were creating those turnovers, man.
That third quarter, they started hitting them passing lanes and deflecting balls. Yeah, they were playing quick out there.
I've never seen him play so fast before since Luka was drafted. Because
listen, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, because when you have Luka's such a methodical player. You use half court, slow him down.
Yep.
Do surgery. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing too. Enyi, I was telling King when we was talking about having that third ball handler. Mm-hmm. When they had those rumors that said like a Dennis Smith might be coming back,
Yeah.
That's when they had like, it was like Dennis Smith, Dennis Schroeder, and
Schroeder,
somebody
Eric Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, and all those guys. And I was
I was
like,
like,
look, I
of
wouldn't be
course.
mine at Dennis Smith because what it would do is it would add a different dimension. It's kind of like I equated it to in football when you had Devin Hester.
Mm-hmm.
Like you add a player like Devin Hester that adds a different dimension to your team. Like we
Yeah.
know you are a defensive running down our throat team, but then
Mm-hmm.
bam, hit you with this special weapon that we got in Devin Hester. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like with Dennis Smith, he can be very good in the open court. So
Yeah.
that way, like you said, Luka's like to slow it down, he's methodical. Then all of a sudden, bam, hit you with Dennis Smith
Mm-hmm.
on real quick buckets in the full court. And so that's why I thought like you get a guy like that, that'll help your offense too, man. Add a different dimension to the team. So yeah,
But they didn't want to go that direction.
yeah. I'm actually happy for Dennis Smith going home.
Oh yeah. I am too.
I'm happy for him.
Selfishly, I would want him here because I was such a huge Dennis Smith fan.
Oh, I would. Hey,
Bruh,
you know what
I
I'm
bought a
saying?
shirt. I don't know where I have it, but I have the Skyline shirt of Dennis Smith.
Oh yeah.
Those are my favorite. I'm sorry, those are my favorite jerseys. They need to bring them mugs back.
I don't know why they canceled them, but
I don't know too, but yeah. I mean, he brings, you know, just the ability because one of the things that we don't do, even when we get those turnovers, like in the years before, it was still bring it up slow. Now it's our ball. Now we're gonna break you down methodically. But it's like no, sometimes the fast break that can produce some good opportunities for guys. It can get people
easy
open on
buckets.
easy buckets. You can get people open threes and stuff like that.
Put the
Sometimes
defense on the heels.
yeah. So Isaiah Joe, that's the dude I was trying to talk about. I saw it on
From
the chat from the
76ers.
Yeah, there's just so many players that ever since we started talking, we can talk about it now.
Because I was thinking about that the other day too. I couldn't remember who me and King said we wanted the Mavs. We finally did our draft video, which is funny because we did our draft video and then like that was it later that day or that next day they ended up trading for Christian Wood.
Yeah,
And so I think you did yours like a week before we decided to do all. Because people kept hitting us up like, y'all doing a draft video, you're doing a draft video. And me and King kept trying to put it off. We was like, man, I think Dallas gonna trade that pick. I didn't want to have to do a video, and then also they trade the pick. It's like I just wasted the video. So then, like I said, like a week I think after you did yours, like let's finally get ours done. Did it.
Yeah.
That next day, that's when he got traded. So
yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy.
Anyway, it was a good trade. But no,
yeah,
like ever since they started
trade.
talking about bringing in Compazzo, I feel like there's like so many better players are just become available, and it's just like, can we hold off on using that last spot of our
So when they officially say they signed Compazzo?
They haven't officially done it. No.
That's what I'm saying. Because I mean, you said that before we started, and I'm just like, bro, I'm not seeing. I don't think I've gotten anything that says it's official. So when what's the name cut Kimball Walker, I'm like, so
he's like,
we didn't sign him yet, right?
Yeah. He's like,
you want to look at
hold
that?
on, Compazzo. Hold on,
Compazzo. I mean, it's not a bigger difference. They both small guards.
Small, but at least Kemba has a experience in the league, more experience.
He was an all-star too.
He will be a true, he will be a true vet. Compazzo is like 29, but he's only played in the league like what 2-3 years or whatever. Probably not even.
He's not even JJ Barea, bro. Like
yeah, exactly. I mean, you can have Kemba. He might not play a lot, but he can be a real presence in the locker room that guys will actually look to and respect. Hey, you did this. He can help out with Jaden Hardy's development, give him some pointers. Like, hey, this is what I did to, ward off such large defenders at the rim and stuff like that. Hey, don't go into the lane and not have a plan of what am I going to do when I'm amongst trees and don't know where, like, he can be the person that can guide Jaden. But Facu, I mean, maybe but there might be some barriers in between that will hinder that. But hey, he was teammates with Luka in Real Madrid, so cool. But
I'm still on the fence about it. Dallas Mavericks says, should Dinwiddie come off the
I'm
bench?
definitely on one side of the fence. I don't like that signing at all.
Probably with you. Dallas Mavericks says, should Dinwiddie come off the bench and have Campazzo with Luka to start? They played together before. Luka, Campazzo, Bullock, Smith, McGee, and the bench Dinwiddie, THJ, Green, Maxey, and Wood. No, I'm not with the Campazzo starting.
I'm not. Yeah. He's a third ball handler for a reason.
Yeah. Mount says F word, but doesn't have a potty mouth like real. I always say it's street clothes. Hey, about that, and the crazy part about it was I was real careful. It is like it just came out. It just came out. I be trying to be careful, y'all. I apologize for my language, y'all. I apologize for my language. Johnny B says, TJ revenge season on the way. Oh my god. You know what, Johnny? I hope you're right. Wood Luka combo is gonna be unstoppable. Wood needs to have Powell teach him how to screen properly. Because he got a few offensive fouls called for bad screens.
I think those offensive fouls
right.
was garbage, man. I think those were garbage. They were not bad screens. He was set. Of course, he was hunched over. It didn't look like he threw any shoulders or elbows or anything like that. I have no. I don't know. Maybe I need to look at them again and take off my Mavs.
Was he rolling right?
Who?
Or was it just me? Christian Wood. When he was setting the screen, was he rolling right?
There was a couple where he like it looked like he turned the wrong way.
That's what I was thinking too. That's why we were talking about it a minute ago. I'm like,
yeah.
Is that, I don't know if it was a timing between those two, like they really hadn't played a lot with each other or whatever, or what it was, but it just something was off to me. But I guess it takes time, I guess, because like he was setting them,
and then he rolled hard,
or something. Because the white powder make it look easy when he do it.
Maybe they've been playing for a long time, but when you take that away from Dwight Powell, there's not much else he got.
Amen. And that's the problem. Johnny B says I made jokes about us signing. Yeah. I told Enyi that. He said signing Dave Augustine and the basketball guys. He said basketball guys made an even funnier joke and gave us Campazzo. Yeah, it's funny, Johnny B. I told Enyi that. I said, yeah, man, Johnny B. constantly been talking about, man, we're gonna mess around and get DJ Augustine. I'm like, God, no, man, please. That's Matt says Campazzo is nice. He can pass the ball. He can pass the ball.
Cool, but what can't shoot. Not the best shooter, not the best defender. That's small.
The thing too, Dallas Mav, like me and Enyi talked about this before we started the show. So the part that frustrates me is I know y'all know our motto on here is in Nico we trust. We talk about that all the time. So I'm not gonna dog Nico and them too hard on this, but the fans, us as fans, see. Not matter of fact, not just the fans. National media base their whole opinion of how well we're gonna play this year off of that one position, having that extra ball handler. And it's like if they're pointing that out, the fans are tagging y'all every day, like, "Yo, where's our third ball handler at?" And it's like, then why did y'all take it more seriously? You know what I'm saying? Like you had Dennis Schroeder and those guys sitting out there. Matter of fact, you were at the Eurobaskets watching this guy play live. And you didn't pick him up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just stuff like that. It's just like you knew you had an idea of Jalen Brunson is gonna be gone. Let's get a plan B. It's like Dallas felt like their plan B was already on the team. It's like, okay, yeah, you had that, but who's gonna take Spencer's spot? You got JB spots covered. What about Spencer? And now we're sitting here like, so we're still talking about third ball handler, and then y'all pick up a guy that been sitting on the scrap heap that nobody wanted in Campazzo because you waited till the last minute and say, you know what? Okay, we already saw the Josh Green and we saw the Nico. I'm sorry, not Nico. Frank Ntilikina experiment. We're not really too sure about that. Let's go pick this ball handler up. When you could have did that from the get go. They slot those guys in a more natural fitting position that they need to be in. Don't put that pressure on them being a ball handler. You let Frank go out there and just be a wing defender that can spot up and shoot. You let Josh just be just a baller in general because we don't really know what Josh's game is. It's just like he's energy and he can do a lot of things very well. Not great, not good, but well. Maybe one day he'll get to that point where he can do things good and maybe even great. But right now he does things well. Probably passing is probably his strongest suit. Handling he handles well. He can get to the rim well. I know a lot of people probably don't feel this way, but he can shoot the ball well. You know what I mean?
You can. I mean, I'm not against grooming Josh Green to becoming a ball handler type, point guard type, or point wing, whatever we call it. But he's just not that at this moment, right? So it's still, there should have been a sense of urgency when you're trying to replace that, Jalen Brunson / Spencer Dinwiddie role we're looking for as an auxiliary ball handler next to Luka or next to Spencer.
You need somebody that's gonna be Spencer Dinwiddie. That's what you needed.
Yeah, exactly. So
not just anybody like, oh, you can handle the ball. Come on in here. Like,
exactly.
You needed a Spencer guy.
I feel like it would have been, and a lot of the people on Mavs Twitter when we're talking about this Compazzo signing, yeah, he's nice. He can pass the ball. I get you. If that's probably not the Dallas Mavericks, but he's nice. He can pass the ball, but he can't shoot. He can't defend. He can't we already have someone who can pass the ball that can't shoot and can defend. So it's like, wow. I mean, it's almost like a less version of a less defensive, shorter version of a Josh Green, right? It's just like it's almost redundant. And there's so many. Worse, we didn't take this need seriously.
Yeah.
And then to stack on that, we didn't, in my opinion, we didn't even get the best option that we could have got with at the time we got it. Because I feel like there's so many better options out there still, and that could do what Compazzo is doing. Compazzo's nice. He can pass the ball. Yeah, I can find other people that can pass the ball, but I can find people that can make a shot if they're left wide open. Now they're not freaking Seth Curry or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But definitely
competent though.
Yeah, there are definitely competent guys out there. And we joked about DJ Augustine. I bet you now we'll take DJ Augustine over Compazzo. Yes, he's older, but he's also been in the league a long time, and that does have some value. Like, there's a reason why there's still old people in the league. There's a reason why What's His Nuts is still on the freaking Udonis Haslem is still on the freaking Miami Heat 20-something years later. And if he freaking beats Dirk's record if he beats Dirk's record, we're not counting. That doesn't count. Man,
nobody's gonna remember.
That's a logged a minute in 2 years. So
nobody's gonna remember Udonis Haslem. Bro.
Yeah, that's Dirk. If people take that seriously, that's bullcrap. Anyway.
Johnny says marketing was cooking us. I told y'all last year we should have traded Maxey for him. You told us, Johnny B. You better go back and look at the tape. Me and Keem was on board for that. Matter of fact, I don't know if me and Keem were on there together. I remember I told Jay and Will them that, man. I was like, because they were kind of against it, and I'm like, look. At the time, I said, look, Max is getting older and he's breaking down. His ceiling is not his trajectory is not going up; it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
Marketing is still young. At that time he was like 23 or whatever. He's still young. It still has upside. And that's around the time too. He was like, "Yo, you get him. If you trade KP away, you got your backup right there in Laurie Marketing that can do what KP can do at half the price."
I was trying to remember my take about because I remember that was that time where Marketing was saying he would like to play. He would like to be in Dallas.
With Luka, yeah, without yeah.
And I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but. And because at that time I was still kind of hoping Street Clothes would work out, just because out of necessity. But when I heard that, I was like, you know what? If we can get him, it will definitely make it a lot easier to get rid of. Street Clothes.
And that's what we said on the show, and that's why I'm like, look, you just imagine if you did make that move, right? So you would have. Instead of Maxey right now, you would have Laurie Marketing with Christian Wood and with JaVale McGee.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice little 3 big man lineup right there.
It would be nice, and then we can find other guys to probably make up for that loss of defense that we were because we can find defensive guys all day. Um, I mean, what's his name is still out there. Um, who was the spiritual leader on our team a couple of years ago?
Uh,
The karate guy.
Oh, you talking about James Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I forgot about him. I thought he was still in. You not in Brooklyn no more? You not in Brooklyn?
I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah, they called him the spiritual leader, and then they traded him.
So he's so tough. Yeah, they traded him. Corey says, we're really 11 to 12 deep. Yeah, I was talking in general, Corey. Like guys, you might see every night consistently are going to be those 10 guys that we named off, and those 10 guys are better than the 10 guys we had last year. I think we were like 7 deep, and then you had like Trey Burke and guys like that sprinkled in at like 8, 9, and 10. So this year we got a legit 10 guys that I think we can go to war with every night if we have to. But yeah, we do have 12, 2 other guys like a Frank or Bertans if it comes to it. So yeah.
Yeah, we need some threes, or we need fast
defensive
offense.
extra wing. Yeah. JC fam, what's good, man? He says hello, fam. Stopping by to give my respect. Yes, sir, man. We appreciate it, JC, man. Appreciate it. Let's see. Marco says AJ Lawson, former Dallas Maverick vibes, waves. Will you give him a second chance to play with Texas legend? Yeah, come on over.
Oh hell yes.
Yeah, that's not even a question. Like, matter of fact, man,
I'll take him over Campazzo.
Hey, does he need somebody to pick him up at the airport, or what are we doing? I'll get my car right now and go pick you up.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not even a question. For sure. Let's see. Oh, window. Let's see him. Oh, Dallas fan says Laurie Markin gets hurt too much. Yeah, he does, but we're banking on the fact that he's not going to be asked to do a lot here. Like, you're going to be like the 4th or 5th option, so it's going to be less pressure off of you to have to do stuff to which is going to kind of cut back on your injuries, hopefully. Speaking of injuries, man, Street Clothes got hurt again, by the way.
He did get hurt.
Yeah. So, Wendell says that the players were fined a few grand for every missed 3. I think we would see a dramatic increase in accuracy. He said either that or they probably would just quit shooting the 3 ball. Yeah, man, they missed 40s. It took 47 attempts and made 17, Wendell. But we're not gonna be too hard on them because, like we were saying, they had a week in between each game, so and like
they were probably hitting in practice.
Yeah, probably were, and like you were saying, like them 3 just having 3 preseason games. Like at first I was cool with it. I'm like, okay, cool, just get to the regular season, get this over with. But now looking back and thinking about it, it's like you're right. Excuse me, you can't get your rhythm that way, man. Just playing those 3 games when you're used to playing like 7, 8, or 9 or whatever, depending on the schedule.
Especially, it didn't mix with the message because we're talking about we need to have a fast start, but then you like 3 preseason games, bro. We're like, what are we doing? Like, we need to get them ramped up, ready to go, so you won't have
exactly. Because I am not as confident as I thought I was going to be, like I was on the round table. Because now, like I said, when you mentioned the 3 games, I didn't think about it. I said, damn, he's right. And now, I'm not saying I'm all the way off the confident meter of them being a better team than they were last year coming out the gate. I'm just saying I'm being a little hesitant because what I saw tonight and them being a little slow, it just looked like they were off. Dallas only had 13 turnovers though, so that's a good thing. That kind of gives me a little hope, because first game at 24 now.
To be honest, I think maybe the Suns, they probably played like 4 preseason games, but hopefully, my problem, he has the 3 preseason games, but it was the gap in between game number 2 and number 3. It's like, why'd you wait a whole week?
Who was it? Was it Oklahoma City or somebody? Man, they had a back-to-back.
Man, Oklahoma City, I feel like
I ain't talking about a Wednesday and a Friday. I'm talking about a Wednesday and a Thursday.
Yeah,
like I was just
Oklahoma City. I felt like they had a game every day, dude. I was like, man, it's like 6.
I was sitting there thinking, like, why they get like 6 or 7 games? We only got like, I'm not. Like I said, at first I wasn't complaining, but I was like, why they getting 7 games? We getting like 3.
Bro, I would have definitely loved to see a lot more of the players who are training camp players or something like that. Like I'm a geek like that to where I find joy watching that type of ball too. It's like, who can I discover or whatever. So the fact that we weren't able to get a lot of that kind of hurts. And now, we're going into game one with only 3 preseason games. Luka only had 2, but luckily he at least played Eurobasket.
Yeah.
But a lot of our other
Yeah, I'm
guys,
not worried about Luka. Yeah, I'm
yeah, a
with you
lot of
though.
our other guys didn't play much, unless they did some pro-am stuff. But that stuff is,
Yeah, I don't take that serious either.
yeah, I
It
don't think,
gives you
yeah,
it
I
gives you it's
think,
like a cardio workout,
yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
Ain't nobody
Court,
really trying, but I mean, something. It's basketball, you know what I mean?
yeah.
But
Court says I want y'all's opinion on the Suns. Is I believe the Suns may get the seventh. Let's see, seventh. The
vibe.
vibes there definitely not immaculate with the team.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can do all that talking about DeAndre Ayton finally talking to Monty and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna miss Jay Crowder. I don't care. Like he might not be putting up a ton of points or anything, but his presence is
Yeah.
gonna be missed. Uh, Chris Paul is older. He's older
Mm-hmm.
than what he is, and it's gonna still be a little friction between the franchise and DeAndre Ayton because DeAndre Ayton does not want to be there. He didn't want to be there. He really thought he was gonna be in
In
Indiana. I
Indiana,
think he
yeah.
said that too in one of the press conferences. So
And then they're still dealing with the
with the
the
Sarver thing,
fallout with the Robert Sarver and him selling
yeah,
his team and
that's a
stuff
good
like that.
point
A lot
too.
of
Yeah.
distractions.
I
You
won't say
know,
seventh, but I mean, if it was seventh, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, I'm not worried about Phoenix
I
either.
mean, look, on paper they're a good team, but they have a lot of things that a lot of ingredients that if you mix them together can make for a team not living up to their potential. Can it knock him down as far as 7th? I'm not quite sure because at the same
Oh,
time that no one's really hurt. Now, if you added in injuries to that, then I can see 7th, 8th. But I think everyone's
yeah.
relatively healthy. Um, they were trying really hard to get a better situation for their backup point guard because they're probably Chris Paul is probably not going to play a ton of minutes.
They don't trust Cameron Payne. What?
I think they
What is
lost a
this?
lot of trust, bro.
No.
Excuse my language again, but Luca fucked them up doing that. Like,
The reason why I was saying that because remember
they
we
made
just
him
saying Cameron
realize a
Payne that
whole lot of things.
LeBron told him to be humble. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like, bro, you need to be humble, bro, because you was sitting over here or at the house last year, and all of a sudden now he over talking noise and dancing in front of people
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, oh, okay, bet.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly.
Bro.
That
But yeah.
that shouldn't have been a message to the whole Suns team. Like y'all need to
2
be humble.
years in a
Remember
row, yeah.
they were doing that weird stuff like working out after games and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And
Like I said, in 2 years they've been front running. That's why I said
yeah.
like when those people were getting on the team for losing to the 36ers, it's like I don't feel sorry for y'all. This is what y'all get for front running. You should have been humble. They did the same thing to the Clippers when they were front running and stuff.
Oh
Remember
yeah,
they
in
were
the
celebrating in
bubble.
front
Hell
of
yeah.
Dame and in the bubble and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they want people to
Yeah,
feel sorry for them. Like, no, you were front running, so take your licks.
Mm-hmm.
Smito, what good, Smito? I feel like it's been a while. It says good morning from Germany. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, he's morning time
Wow,
order.
German's the most aggressive language I've ever heard in my life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Smito says Capazzo shouldn't start. He is not good enough off ball. Amen. He said he's only his only value is with the ball in his hand. Spencer should start. Staggering shouldn't be a problem if both play 30 plus minutes. Yeah, regular season it might not show, but they're gonna definitely need another ball handler in the third in the playoffs.
Now, also too, yeah, our roster can definitely change drastically from here. Here to
Dallas
to
is known
playoff
for
time.
making moves during the trade deadline.
Yep.
I'm just saying.
We
That's how we got Spencer.
Yes.
Ben, what's good, man? He says, I don't rate Capazzo. He said, I don't know why we didn't take a punt on Schroeder. And that summer league point guard instead. Ben, we were just talking about this. I think it's about AJ Lawson, I think. Well, Lawson was a point guard, though.
I don't think it was a point guard. I think it was a wing.
He was a wing. Yeah, we should have kept AJ Lawson.
But I'm guessing with that point to that point. I don't know why they punted on Schroeder. My guess is because they have had him and Dirk have had a rocky relationship.
Somebody else said that too.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know
I
that.
heard. I think I heard something about it, about that way back in the day when both were playing for the German team.
I
But
did not know that, bro.
in my estimation, I love Dirk. Dirk was my favorite player growing up. But if we give up on talent because Dirk doesn't like him and Dirk doesn't even play for us anymore, Dirk. First of all, Dirk's the type of dude who he would understand. He
I
would get
don't see
over it.
Dirk holding grudges like that either,
Yeah,
man.
you be like,
So
bro,
yeah,
I'm chilling. Like I got my beautiful black wife. I got a statue. Hopefully, they got rid of the anal beads on it.
please tell me they got. I doubt it. I doubt it, bro.
Yeah, that's like something like Cubes would stick to his guns. Like I like this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep them anal
Oh,
beads.
they're complaining about it, so I'm gonna stick to it. It's like,
Yeah, like god dang it.
come on, Mark. You gotta do better, bro.
I got a street named after me. You know, life is good right now. I'm not gonna stress over freaking Dennis Schroeder. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, like I said, I think you're not the only person who said that. I had no idea
yeah.
that him and Dirk got in, like they were kind of going at it or whatever. I thought they were friends or something, man. You know, I
No,
never even
I
heard
mean,
that.
I think Schroeder probably just had a air about him that probably rubbed Dirk the wrong way. Who knows? Dirk is a cool dude, but Dirk also has an ego too. I mean, if you're that good at basketball, of course you're gonna have an ego. You know what I mean? And you got someone who's not as good as you is probably thinking he is as good or whatever.
I
And
don't
he's
know
just
where you
like,
got that from. Need you to calm down, sir.
yeah, he's like,
You are not Dirk.
yeah,
You are not
look, you're a
Dirk.
burger. You gotta,
Exactly, you a burger, sir.
yeah.
Smito says Maxey for marketing would be worse trade than Curry for Richardson. I don't know about that. Said especially with KP still in the roster, it's the same injury history, and he is a black hole on defense. You probably can. I mean, the thing though is, I'm trying to think real quick. What team did Laurie Marketing play on? That was a good team.
Cavs, Bulls.
And yeah, he played in the Cavs. The Cavs were they like a top 5 defensive team?
Something like that. They were a very long team. He was playing the 3 for them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So he wasn't like a hindrance on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Bull, they weren't really a good defensive team though. I don't know. I definitely would have took marketing over
I would have took marketing
over
just for the
KP.
talent, for the talent alone.
Yeah, for the talent. Yeah, that's what you're banking it off of, the talent.
And then if KP doesn't work out, you make that trade again.
Yeah, I
Because
would.
that trade was always going to be available. Because of course everyone will want to get rid of
Get
the
rid of who?
Latvian laser if he's making 16 mil a year.
Oh, I got this stuff with the other Lafayette.
And then Spencer wasn't getting along with the team, so that trade was always going to be there. So you make that you would be more aggressive in making that trade. You know what I mean? It was like, okay, now I got rid of the log jam. Now I got another ball handler. Now we good.
Yeah, man, because Lord Market could do a lot more than Bertans for sure. Smito says German and aggressive language. He says then you've never heard Slavic languages.
I've never heard of Slavic. You're correct.
I probably have, but I probably didn't know that what they was.
I have a friend. I have a friend that's German, and she pointed me to a couple of videos that I guess probably TikTok videos but they're very like they have like an English word or something. They'll say it so like like hospital, huh? And then or ambulance, and then it'll be like Krankenwagen will be like that. It'll be the German translation.
The German yeah.
Stuff like that. But it was funny. We had a good time.
Frank says sub quickly on the Suns is similar like Draymond said about the Grizz, that they're good now, but slowly they lose piece by piece. We're witnessing the Suns' downfall. We're witnessing the downfall of the Suns.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, don't get King started, man. He's been preaching that all off season. The Suns and Utah. Frank also says, you mind giving a quick recap on the game today? Didn't watch the game. Was there anything really bad or really good to know? It was a preseason game, Frank. We went over the game early in the video.
Yeah.
It was to be expected from a team that hadn't played in a week. You know, a little rust, but they're trying to kind of get their rotation down. Players are kind of trying to get their rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really bad. Of course, they won or whatever, but it wasn't nothing really bad that happened today.
The most notable thing will be the defense, as they caused a lot of turnovers, live ball turnovers. We saw
A
them
lot
get
of
out
hands
and
in
run.
passing lanes.
Yeah. Um, Tim Hardaway was a plus. He turned up at the end. Christian Wood had his moments in the third.
Yep.
Luka did Luka things. He was probably, like Rel said at the beginning, probably the most quietest 24-point game that Luka's
Yeah, I
ever
did not know he had 24.
Yeah, he was literally going through the motions and,
Yeah.
closed his eyes and woke up and got 24 points. It looked like he was sleepwalking out there. He made a couple good passes. Luka doing Luka things. Nothing else really stood
Oh, you
out.
missed one. The White Powell like an MVP today. My bad. Community service MVP. I'm sorry. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Here you go. Smito said Dirk and Dennis are good now. He said Dirk even called him a good leader and the most important player on the German roster before the Euro.
Why the mother F did we not sign that dude while we?
That's what I was asking, bro.
I think a lot of people. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about the whole situation. A lot of people were saying that he wanted really bad to go back to LA. He didn't. So that could. I mean, that has to be the only. I don't know, man.
I don't understand why he wanted to go back to that situation.
What situation? These young kids and want to live in LA and stuff like that. I mean, that's probably the only thing I can explain it.
So I'm just like, why would you want to go back to that circus over there? And then, like, right now, you're starting to see some cracks in the.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't. Well, teach his own, I guess. Mm-hmm. Ben says I would seriously rather have McKinley Wright or McClung. Kid is mad, dynamic, and talented. Yeah, I don't know why McClung keeps getting cut.
Yeah,
I like McClung. He's getting better too.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Yeah, he can play in that pick and roll too. Smito says the Cavs have two exceptionally great bigs in Allen and Mobley who can switch everything and can protect the rim.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as Allen was out, he probably talking about
defensive rating.
Yeah, dropped. Yeah.
I'd say give that team 2 years is going to be Evan Mobley's team.
That's what a lot of people are saying. They said they got Evan Mobley as All-Star this year,
which
is not gonna be hard in the East.
I was hoping so bad that the Rockets weren't going to draft him. It was like I don't want to deal with him. I don't want to deal with him. I would rather deal with the guard, whoever they got, Jalen Green. I would rather deal with him. But Evan Mobley.
Oh, Smito said he know the video you talking about. He said he know that video. That's it's extremely over aggressive. He says no German talks that way.
I know.
Like I said, I never even heard of German talk before. I don't think. Except for
no, they don't. I mean, you look at old videos of Dirk and talking German. Dirk is very chill. It's still a funny video though, Smito. You have to admit it.
Let's go right with the last one here. Smito says because Schroeder has better chances to see significant minutes on the Lakers. Think about it. Is he the third point guard behind Westbrook and Beverly?
No, he's a third point guard behind LeBron.
Actually, I was just about to say he's actually the fourth point. If you're gonna put it like that, he's the fourth point guard because LeBron is the first point guard, then Westbrook, and then Beverly. Well, Beverly maybe then Westbrook. Because they're talking about Westbrook ain't come off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, well, that's gonna probably do it, man. We're gonna probably wrap it up there. Hey y'all, we definitely appreciate y'all rocking with us, man, for a late one. It's like almost 1:30 here right now, man. Definitely appreciate y'all rocking with us on another episode of We Talk Mavs. We did our post-game recap of the very last preseason game for the Dallas Mavericks. We will be back here, guys. I don't know if we're going to drop another video in between, but we will be back on the 19th for the post-game show after the Mavericks play the Phoenix Suns. Is that away or is that here?
I think it's away.
Away, it is away. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a late video.
Yeah, true.
Woo, I gotta get ready for that one. Man, King gonna kill me on that one.
It's on a Wednesday too.
Yeah, and it's on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. I need y'all to pray for me on that one. But yeah, listen, guys. If you enjoyed the content, guys, go ahead and hit that like button, guys. We'll definitely go a long way. Like we said before, that helps build up our algorithm. And also, if you're into Mav content, guys, you into them Dallas Mavericks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys, and help us grow this thing. We on our way. We're almost there, y'all. We're almost there to our first 1,000 subscribers. So go ahead and help us reach our goal. Also, if you're on social media, guys, go ahead and follow us right here at We Talk Mavs on Twitter, We Talk _Mavs on Instagram. And also, I have Enyi's information down in the description down below, guys, so you guys can follow him on Twitter too. And follow the Dallas Prospects YouTube channel, guys. If you haven't followed it, you should be following it. All right, and is there anything I'm missing, bro? I think that's probably.
No, you pretty much got everything, man. I had a lot of fun.
I appreciate you hopping on, man.
Yeah, it's always fun talking Mavs, and I really appreciate the work y'all do, you and King. And I wish y'all the best, man. I really can't wait for see y'all get your first 1,000 subscribers, and then go well beyond that, because we need guys like you out here speaking basketball and speaking facts about what's really going on with the Mavs. So
yes, sir. We definitely appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we'll be back here on the 19th after the very first game against the Phoenix Suns. It is your boy Real. King will be back. Got Enyi. We'll be back here, same Mav time, same Mav channel. See ya.